In this lecture, we are gonna see a lexical scope in JavaScript. We have two lexical scope in JavaScript: global scope and function scope. Let's create a global variable var variable and assign it global value. Now let's create a function and declare a local variable var local variable local. Now let's create another function inside this function child, and create another variable child variable. Okay, this is our global variable, and this variable is our local variable or function scope variable. Now first let's print out all these three variables from the child function. For example, console log global variable local variable and child variable, and let's invoke the child function in our print function. Save the file and run our application inside the console. Node index.js. We are getting all three variables: the global variable, the local variable, and child variable. Now let's console log all three variables from the print function scope and save the file, run it inside the console. We are getting our global variable and our local variable, this variable. But for the child variable, we are getting a reference error stating child variable is not defined. It means that a variable is only accessible inside its scope. We cannot access a variable from outside of its scope. For example, this child variable is only accessible inside this child function. We cannot access it from this print function or from the parent scope. But a variable from the parent scope, we can access it inside the child function or child scope. And now let's print out all these three variables from outside of these function scopes. Save the file, run it inside the console. Notice we are only getting the global scope variable, this variable. The local variable and child variable is not accessible from the global variable. What happens here? Our global scope can access only the global variables but can't access any variable from the function or from its child scope. And our child, this child, can access a global variable, or basically a global variable can be accessed from anywhere inside this file, and this child can access from this function scope, from this print function variable, and from the global variable. But the print function and global scope cannot access this child function variable. It means a child can access its parent variable, but a parent cannot access its child variable.